Bringing ThamePo, heart that skips a beat to life, took 5 years of dedication, challenges, and hard work. From casting struggles to physical transformations and intense emotional scenes, every step pushed the cast and crew to their limits. It took 5 long years for ThamePo to come to life, with one major hurdle standing in the way: the perfect cast. Director Pui revealed the script had been shelved for almost half a decade as the team struggled to find the right actors for Thame and Po. But when they met William and Est, it all fell into place. This project has been years in the making. It took so long to find the right cast. People say the role is waiting for the right person, and the person is waiting for the role. When I met Lycan and Est, I knew it was the right time. The journey to bring ThamePo to life was filled with ups and downs, moments of hope and disappointment, light and darkness. At one point, producer Jan even questioned if it was time to give up, but Pui and the team refused. We insisted, no. We'll keep going no matter how hard it gets, Pui recalled. The biggest challenge in casting was finding the perfect Po. The team was almost ready to hold an open casting call when Est was recommended. The moment Pui saw him, she knew. I immediately walked over to Jan and said, "We've found Po. We don't need to hold an open casting anymore." It wasn't just Est, the entire cast of ThamePo came together in a way that felt meant to be. Est's transformation for ThamePo was not easy. Initially, Est had a swimmer's body, bulky with broad shoulders thanks to years of swimming. However, for the role he needed to appear smaller than his co-star William, who would play Thame. This required Est to make a significant change, both in terms of his body and his mindset. The director kept saying, "You have to get smaller," Est recalled. It was tough because I was already lean to begin with. Losing weight was challenging, but I was determined to do whatever it took to look the part. Over time, Est pushed himself to lose 10 kilograms, a process that required discipline and hard work. Only after shedding those 10 kilograms did the team feel ready to start shooting. But even then, they weren't done with the adjustments. To help Est appear smaller next to William, the director had William wear shoes with thick heels. It was a small detail, but it made a difference, Est said. For William, the challenge was different. "I was always skinny," he shared, "so I consulted a trainer to start working out and build some muscle so I could appear bigger." It wasn't just about looking the part, it was about balancing the dynamics between Thame and Po. Together, Est and William's efforts helped create the perfect contrast between their characters, bringing the characters' chemistry to life on screen. The breakup scene in ThamePo was one of the most draining moments for Est and the entire team. Est shared, "This is the scene that Pui and I always said was the hardest in the story, and it was the one we were looking forward to the most. Since the read-through day, we kept asking, when will the rooftop cue come?" When the day finally arrived to film, both Est and William were incredibly stressed. "We were both really nervous, afraid we wouldn't do it well," Est admitted. Filmed late at night from 1 a.m. to just after 4 a.m., the scene spanned about 6 pages, creating a tense atmosphere before shooting. "Everyone was focused on getting into character," Est recalled. Prior to filming, the crew took time to meditate, with everyone spreading out to listen to music and tap into their emotions. "We were all so quiet, especially when we were building up the emotions for the scene." Despite the emotional intensity, Est and William had to stay connected with little physical touch. During the shoot, after each cut, we kept hugging each other because we didn't have physical contact in the scene, but we needed a strong emotional connection. It really worked, and it helped us connect a lot. The emotional toll of the scene was overwhelming. I remember that day, I cried until I had no more tears. My tears were gone, my eyes were swollen, and I couldn't see clearly anymore. It was exhausting. After we finished filming, the atmosphere lightened up. "We all felt relieved," Est said with a smile. When it came to filming the kissing scenes for ThamePo, things didn't go as smoothly as expected for William and Est, especially since William had no prior experience with love scenes. During their workshop, there was no kissing practice, so Est took it upon himself to teach his co-star how to kiss for the camera. "I didn't know how to do it at first. Est had to teach me." He said, "You have to kiss slowly like this and that," Est confirmed. "Yes, I showed him because he didn't know how to do it." The first thing we shot together in the condo was the love scene in the last part of episode 9. This scene was particularly intense, as it required a lot of emotion and physicality. It was the love scene that had multiple levels. We started with a love kiss, then moved into a lust kiss, and ended with a harsh kiss. William laughed. The harsh kiss was the first one. I couldn't really kiss well that day, my lips were stiff. So Estate told me to lie down, and he took on the role of Tame while I played poor. He demonstrated how to kiss, showing me how to do it. For both William and Est, the kissing scenes were a learning experience, with Est's guidance helping William to get comfortable and portray the intimate moments between Tame and Poor authentically. During the sumo scene, everyone was on a break behind the camera. Est wasn't in the scene yet, but he wanted to take a look. He was walking behind the operator when he started feeling hot, so he decided to head back to the tent. Just as he turned, the tape sped up, and he had to run to catch up with the camera. That's when it happened. I slipped on some wet rocks near a small stream and went down. When I looked up, everyone was staring at me. I felt a rush of embarrassment, so I just smiled and kept going like nothing had happened. I didn't even realize I was bleeding at first. My body felt numb, and I was too focused on playing it cool. Later, when I got back to the tent, I finally noticed the wounds, blood on my knee, a cut on my wrist. That's when I asked the medical team for help. The actors of ThamePo faced unique challenges. For Lycan, it was their first acting gig and the nerves were real. I was nervous because it was my first series and scene, Nut shared. Playing June's confidence was tough for Nut, who tends to overthink. June makes decisions fast, while I hesitate. It taught me to be more confident. Hong's challenge was understanding Dylan's emotional depth. Dylan has a protective shield and you have to get why he behaves the way he does. A strong character background helped him, especially during non-sequential filming. For Tui, playing Pepper was a stretch. Pepper and I are very different. Pepper is calm and reserved, while I'm more energetic. The director encouraged deep character exploration, which Tui embraced. If a character has depth, the audience feels like they really exist. William found it difficult to separate himself from Thame. It was hard to stay in character because we are so different. For Ass, taking on ThamePo's lead role was a huge leap. This character is more complex than anything I've done before, he said. Each actor's journey was about overcoming challenges, embracing growth, and pushing boundaries to deliver standout performances. Before 5 centimeters, William struggled with his falsetto, feeling frustrated and unsure of how to achieve the sound he wanted. At first, my falsetto wasn't very strong. I couldn't get it right, and every attempt felt like I was hitting a wall. The turning point came just a month before the recording when he met a new vocal trainer. Although initially hesitant and intimidated, William decided to approach the session with an open mind. In just 30 minutes, everything clicked. I had been searching for this sound for years, even since grade 7. And then, just like that, it came together. This breakthrough gave him the confidence to perfect 5 centimeters, turning it into a reflection of his growth. Despite the challenges, William learned to trust his voice and embrace the process. It wasn't easy, but I knew I had to keep pushing through. Have you watched ThamePo? Let me know in the comments.